Hi everyone, you are welcome to Mr. Adebayo's Golden Lesson, and the topic for today is polygon. And the polygon, we are starting with the main part. The first polygon in mathematics is triangle because it is enclosed by three lines. It is enclosed by three lines, three-sided polygon. As you can see on the board, triangle is a three-sided polygon. Triangle is a three-sided polygon because it is embodied by three lines. And this triangle has different types. So we are taking it one by one. The first one on the board is known as an equilateral triangle. This is an equilateral triangle, and it has some properties for you to identify it. It has some features or characteristics with which you can identify an equilateral triangle. Number one, the three sides are equal. The three sides are equal. Number two, the three angles are equal, which means each angle is 60 degrees. Each angle is 60 degrees. You know, when you say 60 times 3, it will give you 180 degrees. Another property is it has three lines of symmetry. It has three lines of symmetry. How do I identify an equilateral triangle? Three lines of symmetry. When the lines are drawn, it makes the shape to be what? Identical. You have to note that the sum of angles in any triangle is 180 degrees. The sum of angles in any triangle is 180 degrees. That is, as you can see here, the three angles A, B, C. When you sum the three together, it will give 180 degrees. Second type of triangle is an isosceles triangle, as drawn on the board. And as I've told you, different type of triangle has different characteristics. This isosceles triangle, some of its characteristics or properties are written below. Number one, it has two equal sides. It has two equal sides. Two equal sides. That is, if this side is 7 cm, this side will definitely be 7 cm. Number two, base angles are equal. The two down angles are equal in an isosceles triangle. That is why it is written on the board here. This side is 70 degrees. The second base angle must be 70 degrees. Number three, it has only one line of symmetry. That is, if a line is drawn like this, down, it divides it and gives the same characteristics. They will look alike. It has only one line of symmetry. And the total degree, as I've said before, in any triangle is 180 degrees. So in this isosceles triangle, the total degree must be 180 degrees. If you look at the board now, you see, if I say 70 degrees plus 70 degrees plus 40 degrees, it must be 180 degrees. That's why this side is 70, this one is 70. These are the two base angles. And to make it 180, you say 70 plus 70, 140. When you subtract 140 from 180, it will be 40 degrees. The third type of a triangle is a right-angled triangle, as drawn above. It is a right-angled triangle. Why is it a right-angled triangle? One of the angle must be 90 degrees. One of the angles must be 90 degrees. This corner must be 90 degrees. And that will now guide us to know how to get the other angles. That will be taught in our subsequent lesson. And the longest side of a right angle triangle is known as hypotenuse. The two other sides are opposite, and the third one is known as base, or it is called adjacent in higher class. But from primary level, we are used to base, but when you get to higher class, it is known as adjacent. This is the part that is known as adjacent. The longest side is called hypotenuse, while this side is known as opposite, or we call it the height of the triangle. So the property is just this: it is a right angle triangle because one of the angle must be 90 degrees, and the longest side is known as hypotenuse. The fourth triangle on the board is an obtuse triangle. Why is it an obtuse triangle? Because one of the angles must be greater than 90 degrees. Because an obtuse angle, it's stated that the angle is greater than 90 degrees. Greater than 90 degrees. Any angle that is greater than 90 degrees is called an obtuse angle. But when it is incorporated in triangle, it becomes an obtuse triangle, because one of the angles, as you can see, is 100 degrees. Then the second one is 50 degrees. By the time you now see 100 plus 50, 150 degrees, how will you get the third angle? You say 180 minus 180 minus bracket open 100 plus 50. And by the time you say 180 minus 150, it definitely becomes 30 degrees. That is how this 30 is arrived at. So what are the few properties of an obtuse triangle? This triangle has no line of symmetry. There is no line of symmetry in an obtuse triangle. And one of the angle, as I've said earlier, must be greater than 90 degrees. How do you know greater than? Your right hand. Greater than 90 degrees. The fifth type of triangle is a scalene triangle. And what are the features of a scalene triangle? In a scalene triangle, no angle is equal. No angle is equal. You can see 65 is here, 70 is here, 45 is here. So no angle is equal in a scalene triangle. And if you look at the drawing again, no side is equal. None of the side is equal to each other, as in the case of a equilateral triangle, where all the three sides are equal. And there is no line of symmetry. There is no way it can be identical when it is divided into 2 or 3 or 4. So that's why there is no line of symmetry. And no angle is equal to 90 degrees in a scalene triangle. As you can see, this 65 is less than 90 degrees, 70 is less than 90 degrees, and 45 is even half of 90 degrees. This shows that this angle is a scalene triangle. Thanks.